What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Code, DC, UPenn's finest, Chris Coacher, CB, Coacher Boy. We got another great episode for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the NFC North. So we just did the NFC South last week, AFC South the week before that. If you did not catch those, please go check those out. We highly recommend it. But this week will be the NFC North. Next week will be the AFC North. Probably the two most highly anticipated divisions that we're going to be talking about. But today we got Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings. All had relatively decent off seasons. Some teams had weirder drafts than others. But of course, before we get into any of that, I want to remind you, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it if you keep helping us grow. We are on the way to 300 subs. I feel like I was saying 200 subs forever, but we are closing in on 300 subs. We'd really appreciate it. If you help us get there and you're listening to this on audio platforms, please leave a 5-star like and review. Follow the channel, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Google Pods, whatever it may be. And we can just get this show on the road with Danny, with the Summits and Plummets.
Yeah, so it's been a long week, and coming out of the All-Star break, my summit is going to be that it's going to be the trade deadline. It's honestly one of my favorite times of the year. It's baseball trade deadline. For the longest time, it was actually the most traded trade deadline out of all the sports. You used to see people get traded for – okay, Chris, I don't know if you know this. There's a part of baseball where you can get traded for literally, it's called a PTBNL, a player to be named later.
I never knew what it meant, but I've seen it
for a seventh grader.
Yeah, but I've never seen. I've seen it before, but I never knew what it meant. Like, is that like a far draft pick? Kind of like what Tone said.
No. Basically, you say, "I want this player." The other team's like, "All right, the player is not that significant. We'll figure the deal out later, but you can have him."
Damn, that's kind of That's gotta feel shitty. That's
kind of like that would be kind of like if the Lakers like, all right, we're getting AD, and right before the season started, they're like, you know what? Yo, let us get Lonzo. Actually, let us get Lonzo. Let us get BI.
That would be crazy. Oh, it did happen.
If that happened in the NBA, the way that people are so impatient for like the stuff on trades, like Shams will tweet out, the Celtics got Kristaps Porzingis, right? And I was like, please, and then Marcus Smart is heading to the Grizzlies. That's it. Like, it's like that would never slide in the NBA because NBA fans are like way too impatient when it comes to the details.
The problem is, the NBA, nobody knows who the G Leaguers are. So, like,
yeah, I guess G League is a little more prominent in baseball because, like, if dude's having a slump, you literally just send him down there. If he's like one of your prominent players, like Johan Rojas getting sent down to like the major or to the minors would be like a prominent role player on the Celtics if you just like sent him to the G League, which is so. Yeah, I was gonna say Pritchard, but I didn't know if that was like equivalent. I'm not gonna try to, but no, it's good. Yeah. So Mike Trout, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Paul Skeens. Welcome to Philadelphia. We're gonna figure the details out later, but just letting y'all know. Paul Skeens, you don't even gotta move too far. It's like a 3-hour drive, man. Don't even worry about it.
Garrett, it's 5 hours. Garrett Crochet though.
Y'all can get him and Robert.
That'd be really good all season for them. Deadline. But
the week has to suck at some point, so say it now.
The week has to suck.
You don't have to, but
the weather's been real bad. So my plummet's gonna be the weather. It's been muggy, it's been rainy, it's been all sorts of mid in the weather. So that's gonna be my plummet. There's no downsides though. Oh, another upside. I'm getting my tickets today or tomorrow for Steelers Falcons week 1.
Yes, sir. We love it. We love it, man. That's gonna be about as mid as it gets, man.
Man, it's game of the year.
Yeah, nothing is more hype than preseason / week 1 Steelers, man. or the hype leading up to Week 1 Steelers, because last year there was so much hype for Week 1 Steelers, and they had like 1 yard at halftime. It was ridiculous.
Oh my God, Kenny Pickett versus the Niners. We might have went to jail.
Oh my God, dude! This like Niners were licking their chops. It was so bad, man. That was like probably Steve Wilkes' best game as a coordinator
of all time.
Seriously, he's called better games when he was interim for Carolina.
Yeah, probably.
He was an ultimate vibes guy. He probably shouldn't have. You don't really ever hire the interim head coach, but like I don't think he ever should have really got fired. At least for like Frank Reich, dude. Like I don't know that like he's actually Doc Rivers. Without that 2017 Eagles chip, who is Frank Reich? All's I'm saying.
I literally don't know who he is still. I don't know who he is.
He's Matt Canada.
Frank Reich is he's a guy who is a horrible head coach, but a phenomenal offensive coordinator.
Didn't he coach the Panthers, if I'm not mistaken?
Yep, and he got fired midway through the year because he called a screen on 4th and 5. And if Bryce Young turns out to be a bust, I'll be at Frank Reich's funeral. Just to make sure they finish the job. Because dude, he sucks. Like that team was bad, but he sucks specifically.
They said Bryce Young, like a middle schooler, coming into camp today.
Yo, he was they said on his way to 6th period. I say,
bro, like his feet are so too big for his body. He looked really small, bro. They said
he made the shoes look like Osiris's. That's ridiculous, man. It's just not fair. How are you shorter than Kyler, but you don't get Kyler's size at the same time? It's just not fair.
Yo, wait, Kyler Murray is a husky, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't have Kyler's size. Yeah. That's young Tom. Respect him.
But Chris, I'll swing it over to you. Get a little summit. What's your summit of the week?
My summit. I think I have 2 summits, low key. One is that me and my girl ended up going to the Rangers and Orioles game on Saturday. I really wanted to see my boy Gunnar Henderson. I wanted to see Corey Seager, 2 of my favorite baseball players, and they both went over 8 combined. So, yay, that was great. But before we went, I told my girl, I was like, look. Well, because she said she had never seen a home run at a game before. I'm like, watch, you're going to see one today. You fuck around, see 2. Of course, Cedric Mullin hits a home run. Then, like, next inning or next 2 innings, Jordan Westburg hit a home run, too. So that was really cool. She got to see 2 home runs. That was lit. And we almost called it baseball, too.
The game me and Danny went to, we saw home runs all right.
Really? How many y'all see?
How many did the A's hit?
8. Most of the games, 2010.
Oh my God!
Oh my God, dude, wasn't that bad at first, but then they put like stubs in.
The most I've seen in the game
it was 4. Batting practice at that point.
Yeah, I've seen 4 in the game.
I don't. You know that. So, what's it called? People are making these edits of Gunnar Henderson as like some like KKK member, dude.
Whoa. Really? Why?
He went to this high school, dude. I seen the wildest edit. He went to this high school, dude, and apparently, it's like the high school owner is like John T. Morgan, who's like some prominent like Confederate person.
Of course.
Yeah, they're like, they cook Gunnar Henderson.
That's
like,
wild.
He's from like deep South Alabama.
Yeah, I did see that on the screen. I didn't know where he's from until I was looking at the game. There's a couple people from random places that I was like, dang, I didn't know they were from this place. But that was cool. That's my first summit. And yesterday, my men's league game, we won by 33 points. It was pretty cool. We were down 4-13 to start the game. Then it was 19-18. They called a timeout. Next time I looked at the score, I promise God, it was 48-19. And I was like, oh, well, about 30. Then we just kept kind of cruising. And we only had 5 players. So that was cool. Shout out to my team for that yesterday. That was really fun.
That's dope. That gives off the same energy as like game 6 Wolves Nuggets, where the Nuggets got out to like that hot start and then the Wolves just like pummeled them.
Yeah, it was crazy to see, bro. It was crazy because like we were playing, and, like, and y'all respect the sports, like we can probably beat this team, but we kind of just not going as good as we can. Like not going hard, but like just not clicking yet. And I think when we got down like It was 13-4. We got down 13-4. Everybody looked at each other like, kind of need to figure it out. And we just figured it out. I think that was the most fun part. Like, kind of turn it on and everybody kind of clicking at the same time.
For sure.
Oh. Made the adjustments. Had Coach Spo in the corner.
Coach Lespo.
Lesponge.
No, Lespo.
Lespo.
I was definitely supposed to replace Steve Kerr, by the way, for USA. He's a criminal. So.
Yeah, he is. He keeps starting Drew Holiday at the 3-man. I don't know what we're gonna do. And not that Drew's playing bad. It's like make Drew the starting 2 and get Devin Booker out of the starting lineup, which Book's been playing fine too. It's just like I don't know. Maybe
Book kind of underwhelming to me a little bit. I was expecting a little more. I thought he was gonna try to like do a little more. I was
honestly, no one's been underwhelming. I guess I would say for me. Embiid obviously had a slow start. He had a great game yesterday though. Put up a nice 15 and 8. That was a really easily best game from him. So he's starting to pick it up. I guess I would say he's been the most disappointing, but he's also like been monstrous defensively. And just to put a point of emphasis on this team, he's like the 3rd best rim protector on this own team, which is so crazy. And the fact that Kerr is able to get away with AD Bam lineups speaks to them too, not Steve Kerr. I would say I mean, like Tatum's not as aggressive as I want him to be, but like on a team that has Curry and LeBron, of course they're going to take the forefront of the usage rate and things like that, which I'm not worried about. We're all on one team here. My Tatum agenda, I guess you would say, burden dropped like a month ago, so I'm cool. I guess my summit would really be is that like LeBron is like I can't emphasize this enough, dude. Like I'm getting so closer to the point of like y'all usually know me as a guy at like hey, I'm a Bron guy, but if MJ's your GOAT, that's cool. I'm like slowly getting to the point where it's like, yo, if this dude's not your GOAT, get your head checked. Cause like, yo, this is like the best basketball player who has ever graced the cosmos. Like nothing out there in space will ever be able to like get within until Wemby, but we'll worry about that later.
So a little quick thing. I was driving home from work today talking to my girlfriend, and she's driving to Ohio because she's moved to Erie. She got to get like a couch, right? There's no stores out there for like 60 miles. I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, sounds right.
And she's like, oh, I'm going to this place, and I looked at it. I'm like, oh, that's close to Akron, and she's like, I'm like, that's the most famous person from Ohio. She said, who's that? And I was like, LeBron James. And then I was just like, you know that he was the number one person on the face of Sports Illustrated at 16 years old, being followed since he was like 15.
Just started going off. Did you know he was actually the number one? He was like, what did y'all where it'll say like the dude's name and then something they're not really known for? It was like I'm trying to pull up an example. It was like OJ Simpson, the 2,000-yard rusher, but not OJ like the murderer. It was like LeBron James, the number one football recruit in Ohio in 2002.
The best part about this LeBron thing, about him playing good, is he's getting older and more clutch. And the only thing people had against him was that he was not clutch. So it's just funny watching people age and watching him age and watching him have to eat those words, because that was the only thing they had. And now they can't even say it because now even USA Basketball has put in the caption, the closer is in the game. I know it's making people want to kill themselves. I know it's making people want to kill themselves. I know they want to.
Edwards. They said to Anthony Edwards, what was that extra push y'all had to beat South Sudan? He said LeBron James. AD said
LeBron Ramon James.
I can't believe he doing this at 45. He called him 45, which is crazy. But LeBron, okay, so LeBron, let's just get something like point blank. If you know LeBron, he's been clutch his whole career. But ever since he won that 3rd title, like every time he takes a game winner, it looks like the most nonchalant thing ever. It's just like he's almost like playing without expectation anymore, even though he has probably more expectation than anybody in the league. But yeah, so we're having I know y'all all saw the tweet. They said put him on a dollar bill. What dollar bill would you put him on? Me and Danny were talking about maybe the $6 bill. Put him right next to Abe Lincoln, probably 2 of the top 3 Americans ever. We were thinking the $23 bill, but like that's like a little out of the way. Like that's just a weird number.
Yo, Chris, ready? We said
First one was
without
the $75 bill.
We said without 5, there would be no 6. Without 8, there would be no LeBron.
Which
That's true.
is true.
That is true at some point.
Which is true. But I think a
$6
$6
bill.
I think a $6 bill would go hard. A $6 bill would go hard. But then
a lot of shit costs $5.47, so $6 bill works.
Being a former MJ guy, I know the angle of all the MJ stands. It was like, well, he's on the $6 bill, which confirms that 23 is MJ's number. Okay.
Like, wait. But if LeBron gets a jersey number, Kobe gonna need an 8.
Nah, Kobe's not getting a $1 bill. Usually, let's not get into it right now. Let's talk about. Oh wait, I do have one more. I do have one plummet. I lost another natty, and I'm probably gonna lose my quarterback after this season, so I have to get him one.
And your job.
Oh, I'm not, dude. My contract says I have to win like 5 games. I'm good. I just signed an extension right before the championship game. I'm good. I'm not like LaSponge. He's in like 2037 and he hasn't won one. I'm about to be like, when I'm in the championship game this year, it's gonna be 2028. Like, I'm cool.
Yeah, cool.
It's only gonna be my 4th season. I'll be all right. But I did lose out on the number 1 prospect in the nation. He flipped me for Auburn. Pissed. But I did sign best corner in the nation, best defensive end in the nation. So
Auburn's
yeah, we're cooking.
Football game.
Auburn's not going to win the football game. And when I get my hands on them, I'm going to run trap at that player for the whole game. Oh, and I got my running back drafted, which was dope. Anyway, let's talk about actual real life football. We could talk about the Detroit Lions, who won. Obviously, they won the North last season. Coming off a 12-5 season, I can't even like emphasize how good they were last year. There are a couple plays from going to the Super Bowl last year. So their line right now is 10.5 games. I want to start with Danny. What do you think about that line? What are your thoughts thoughts on the Lions offseason? Can they hit the over? What's the expectations next year?
I think I love what the Lions did. They said our team sucked in secondary. Got rid of the guy who was turned from chasing defenders to being the one chased on the run, Cam Sutton. And then they added a few corners. And they said, we love our receiver room already. We love our running backs. We love our offense. Return Ben Johnson. Biggest return.
Yeah, so I would agree.
In reality,
keeping Ben Johnson was huge.
In reality, their biggest pickup was retaining their offensive coordinator because he is the heart and soul of this team. And without Ben Johnson, this team probably is a borderline playoff, not making the playoffs. They have a lot of talent, but Ben Johnson really runs that offense. Because we know Jared Goff without a good team is not – he's a distributor is what he is. We're not going to act like Jared Goff is something he's not. He's a decent quarterback. He's a distributor. He plays okay football.
Yeah, and there's like nothing wrong with that. Like when you call Jared Goff a game manager, people think that is like the biggest like why did you say that? He actually has top 5 this and that. And I'm like, it's kind of the same thing with Brock Purdy. I'm not saying they're bad. They are
same
like
tier quarterback. Same tier
peak
same
game. Exactly. Wherever you have Goff, I would have Purdy right behind them or vice versa, whatever it may be. But they are like peak. They are like Rajon Rondo at the quarterback position, where it's just like, I'm not going to turn this ball over. I'm going to get it to players who are way superior to me. In Amon-Ra St. Brown, hopefully Jameson Williams can finally have that breakout year, which I think he's due. There have been some stumbles along the way. He had a good championship game. So there's that. Again, you mentioned they kept Ben Johnson. Like I cannot put on how much emphasis, that's going to be. Now I want to swing it to Chris because
I need to make my prediction.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
My prediction goes as follows. I have the Lions destroying the entire NFC and winning 13 games and being the 1 seed. I think the Lions, they showed what they could do last year. They won 12 games. They should have beat the Cowboys. And I think they can win 13 games this year.
Real quick before I head to Chris, you want to know something, Danny? I agree on the 1 seed aspect. I had 12 wins again, but I think that 12 wins will be enough to get the 1 seed. But yeah, I'm on board with that 1 seed. Now I want to go to Chris because Chris has like so many quarterback takes that I kind of like lose them in like my memory folder. What are your expectations for Goff and this offense this year? What do you think about their over under, where they're finishing? Let's just talk about it.
I think Goff. I think what you guys said about Goff is very true. But also too, after watching him work in this Lions offense, I think he works as their quarterback, and I don't think they lost anything significant enough to make them any worse. And I think you only get better with continuity, especially in the NFL. And I think them being together another year, they only get better, especially as an offense. And I think their defense growing together again for another year, like I said, I think it's just going to be more of the same. So I think they hit this over pretty easy. I kind of pump the brakes on Jared Goff a little bit. Watching the Netflix series Receiver, I know it's not the greatest assumption, but just like kind of watching a little bit of behind the scenes, just watching like the little glimpses you see of how much work he puts in with every individual guy he has to, distribute the ball to in that sense. And I think that's a part of being a game manager is building relationships and understanding. I mean, that translates to all sports. And I think just respecting that and understanding that that's a part of your skill. Like if that's a part of your skill level, then really leaning into that. I think that's a part of just, being your best self for the team. So shout out to Jared Goff for that. And I think for that, the Lions easily hit this over of 10.5 wins.
Yeah. So we all have them winning this division again. The Packers, they finished the end of last season like pretty hot. They were good. I don't think they made substantial additions to make up for their subtractions to catch up to them. And I think the only way the Bears could grace the Lions is if Caleb Williams is top 10 out of the gate. But yeah, so
man.
we're pretty much all on the same page about the Lions. Me and Danny have them as the 1 seed. Now, being the 1 seed and being the best team or being the team to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl are 2 different things. We do know that. It's kind of like it's same thing in basketball. Like you can predict someone to be the 1 seed, but you can have the 3 seed going to the finals, whatever it may be.
You're
more serious.
An idiot if you don't predict the Celtics to be the 1 seed next year.
No, I'm not saying.
I know that.
But
I know. I'm just saying
they should because they take their regular season very seriously ish. But
man,
it's just like it was like the Mavericks were like what the 5 seed or the 4 seed, and they went out to 5. But yeah, they got high. Whatever. We're getting off topic. Now with the Lions, Danny, we both think they're getting the 1 seed. Do we think they can beat San Francisco or Dallas or Philadelphia to go to Dallas? Not say could, because they could beat anybody realistically. But would you pick them to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl?
Nah, I'm not picking them to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
We'll get to who I'm picking in about a month. But that singles out a team. I'm not picking the Lions. I think the Lions make a deep run once again. But I think that coaching experience, player experience, and everything else being said, they are just a tad behind the team that I'll be picking.
Okay. Yeah, I figured I'd throw it out there. If we're that high on them, would you take it all the way to the bank? I'm gonna agree. I don't know. Because for me, it's between them and the Niners. I really want to see the Niners because Ayuk tore them up bad. And now they have this improved secondary, and Ayuk has reported to training camp, but I'm still going to go Niners between the 2 of them. But if Ayuk's out the door, then hey, maybe we can have a conversation because maybe the Lions defense can hold up a little bit. But yeah. Anything else to add on? Chris, have anything else to add on for the Lions? We all have the over.
Nope. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think they're just going to grow a little more together. Like I said, I think they showed signs of being good last year. I think they're only going to just step that up. Not more than signs, obviously, but I think they're just going to step it up from here.
Yeah. as Eagles fan, I understand the importance of continuity at offensive coordinator because, Jalen Hurts doesn't know that too much. But,
the Lions' revamped secondary includes Terrion Arnold, Ennis Rick Straw, and none other than Carlton Davis of the Bucks. That's a different group, man.
Completely different group. Yeah. That's a group that's ready to go to war with teams like the Niners, who are loaded at that position, Eagles, who are very top heavy at that position, the Cowboys, who have CeeDee Lamb, who might be
Baltimore Raven.
CeeDee Lamb will not be taking his talents to Baltimore. But I will say, I mean, a little off topic, but I will say, I feel like that he would be the last necessity of the Cowboys. I feel like he would be the last one they'll get a deal done with. But I digress. We can talk about the Cowboys another time. Let's talk about the Green Bay Packers, who, again, when we were talking about the Packers for a second there, they finished the season off very hot. And in December, Jordan Love looked like one of, if not the best quarterback in football statistically. It was lots of touchdowns. I think like one interception. Destroyed Dallas in a playoff game. Had the highest like PFF grade in like a playoff debut of all time, which like sparked debate between him and Stroud. It was like they had like the same stat line. How could someone have a much better PFF grade? I'm like, well, watch the game. But after going 9-8 last season, a hot 9-8, like really going into it hot 9-8. Their line is 9.5. I want to start with Chris on this one. Your home city's biggest rival, Green Bay Packers. Again, this offseason they lost Aaron Jones. They lost Darnell Savage. They've added Josh Jacobs to replace Jones, which I would say is an upgrade there. And they did add Xavier McKinney. So what are your thoughts on the Packers? Are we looking at the over? Are we looking at another playoff berth? What do you think here?
I'm taking the under. I'm not as big of a Jordan Love believer as everyone else. I think he's good, though. I think he's good. But in that sense, I say I don't know if he has enough around him, even with Brandon Jacobs, to just carry. I mean, Brandon. I said Brandon. My bad. Yeah, Josh Jacobs. Who's Brandon Jacobs? Who is he? Because I know he's from somewhere.
That's like an old Giants running back, right?
That's who it is. That's exactly who it is. Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, Josh Jacobs. I'm sorry. Yes, I don't think just them two is enough to power the Packers to 10 wins. I could see like 9 or 8. I think they're right on the cusp. I don't want to say they're gonna go way under it. But I think Jordan Love needs a little bit more help around him. I think the defense is pretty good still, pretty decent. So I think I'd be safe with saying 9 wins. So I take the right under 10.
Yeah, I like that.
I was looking up some real quick. Brandon Jacobs.
But he was on my brain, bro, for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, did Brandon Jacobs play for the Raiders? I mean, because Josh Jacobs played for the Raiders, and I think Brandon Jacobs, when he's on the Giants, I was thinking of them together. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, you made a good point, though. Danny?
Yeah, I really do not like the Packers' schedule. It does not fare well for them. The Packers got hot when they were playing bad teams last year, and then they wound up playing a team that is not a playoff riser in the Cowboys, and they beat the brakes off them. Yes, they beat the brakes off them, but they still played the Cowboys in the playoffs, who can't win playoff games.
I think that's fair. That's fair. You know, they got hot. It's almost like you wouldn't pick the Mavericks to go back to the finals because, like,
yeah, I'm not.
They just got hot.
I'm not picking the Packers to make the playoffs next year, which is going to sound crazy. I think they get 9 wins, just like Chris said. Teams that they play that they do not match well up against: the Seahawks, Dolphins, Lions twice, the Niners. The Bears could beat them. The Jags could beat them. The Texans, the Rams, the Colts,
okay,
the Eagles.
So
I don't like any of those matchups at all.
Okay, so looking at my notes for the Packers, I didn't really pick one. I picked question mark because while you're saying, oh, like all these teams could beat them, let's not forget they are a Jordan Love CTE moment from beating the Niners. They had the Niners in their hands, like the San Francisco 49ers. He had them in their grasp, ready to kill all the Green Bay Packer playoff Niner demons. And he and he looked like a 23-year-old for once, which was unfortunate. But I'm not saying you're wrong though, because there are games they don't match up with. However, I will say the Eagles, he's going to throw for 350 yards. He's going to have a day against Philadelphia. Because the pass rush isn't going to be as good as it was last year. Not that it was good in the first place. And their secondary were kind of, you get Gardner Johnson back. We got to see if Quinyon Mitchell is going to be able to adjust all the way from, the MAC to the NFL. We have to see if Cooper DeJean is built to be an NFL corner. Obviously, you still have Slay, which is okay. And then you got teams like the Niners. Again, they had the Niners in their grasp. I'd pick the Niners, but let's not pump the brakes on, giving up on them completely. The Bears, again, the Bears could beat them. I think they actually split everybody in their division, to be quite honest. I don't even think they'll sweep the Vikings.
I'm with that. I agree.
I just think it's hard to beat Justin Jefferson twice. That's how good I think he is. But you make a good point. I'm still unsteady about them.
4 sure wins: the Saints, the Cardinals, the Titans. That's it.
I mean, yeah. How many NFL teams do you want to do this with, though? You can do this with everybody.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're for sure going to beat the Bears at least once. They're for sure going to beat the Vikings at least once. I'd bet on them beating the Lions at least once. Lions didn't sweep them last year. The Packers, they got good vibes going on. And I think more importantly, towards the end of last year, they started to create a hierarchy on who's wide receiver one. Or who are just like the two main guys. It's Wicks and Dobbs. Those are the guys. Christian Watson, his high end could maybe be a wide receiver one, but the hamstring, it bothered him all year. Hopefully a full offseason recovery can help that out for him.
You think it's Wicks and Dobbs? I think Jaden Reed is the deal in this game.
He's a piece. I don't think he's the two, though. He doesn't win enough as an actual receiver to me. He doesn't stack enough wins on a route-to-route or play-to-play basis, but he's a really good gadget guy for the end-arounds, the jet sweeps, screens, things like that.
I really like Christian Watson, too. I think Christian Watson is...
Christian Watson, but last year, dealing with the hamstring, he wasn't getting consistent reps. He wasn't winning the jump balls that he was supposed to be making, and he got, outshined entirely by Wicks and Dobbs all the way down the stretch, and Jordan Love preferred those two all the way down the stretch over Watson. Aaron Rodgers loved Watson, but Jordan Love isn't Aaron Rodgers. So I'm not saying Watson is all the way, dude. He could be wide receiver one entirely on this team. His potential clears everybody else's. It's just a matter of being healthy, him and Love being on the same page, stuff like that.
The Packers might be the most comical team in the NFL last year. They lost to the Falcons, lost to the Raiders, lost to the Broncos, lost to the Steelers. They almost lost to the Chargers, beat the Rams, beat the Lions, beat the Chiefs, lost to the Bucks, almost lost to the Panthers. Like, it's kind of comical. Dude, they're losing to the Steelers and the Broncos. Losing to the Steelers and the Broncos and, like, the Raiders. But then they're beating the Chiefs. Name another team that's done that. And they also lost to the Giants, too, right?
They did, I think. So, okay. I'll go under on the Packers. I'm going to have them at 9-8 again. Will that bump them all the way out of the playoffs? I don't think so. But it won't be like the same 9-8. It will be like the Jaguars, where 9-8, oh, division winners, the future is bright, and then 9-8, oh, you're so disappointing. This could be one of those, not to like the craziest extent, because once you make the dance, anything can happen. If they win a playoff game, this whole year is fine. You're on schedule, and now you're expected to, make some moves. But again, they got to get this extension done with Jordan Love. I think he 100% deserves it. He went out there and balled, won him a playoff game with relatively the same core that Rodgers had. A little different with Wicks, a better version of Dobbs, but no Watson at the same time. You get Jaden Reed, whole bunch of factors, but I thought he did pretty awesome. Anything else we want to add before we move on to the Chicago Bears?
Nah.
All right. Chicago Bears by far had, I think, the most interesting offseason. Their draft was absolutely phenomenal. They re-signed Jalen Johnson and they trade for Keenan Allen. This is like that's like that was a dream offseason for them. You got your franchise quarterback. You got him his preferred weapon in the draft. You got him Keenan Allen, who's going to be a great security blanket, almost like a tight end-esque guy at the receiver position. DJ Moore was one of the 10 best receivers in football last season. Like, I don't know if I would say like top 10 receiver, but he's borderline top 10. If he's in your top 10, there's completely nothing wrong with that. That's probably the better take. But let's start with Chris, your hometown Bears. I remember we were talking before the season ended. You were, up in the air, talk about like, because, you're a big Fields guy as well. But now it's, Caleb's in there. You got this three-headed goat at receiver. DeAndre Swift's at running back, which is a slight detriment to the team, but whatever it may be. Yeah, what are your thoughts on the hometown team?
I've gotta be honest. I've done some backtracking on Caleb Williams. I've done some looking at some. I think one of y'all called I was going to do this. He looks better than I thought. He does. And with those people around him, and I'm a DeAndre Swift fan. So I think that's great for him, especially to have a back who can hopefully catch the ball and make some plays. He can definitely make people miss as long as he can catch the ball. I just like what they're doing, and I like the direction they're going in. It's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like when the Bulls got Lonzo, Levine, and got all those guys, and they were going in the right direction, and you just saw like what they were doing. It was working, and just unfortunately for the Bulls, it didn't work out with injuries, things like that. But this is how I think the Bears are. I think the Bears are going in the right direction. You have the guys that you want. You got the pieces you want. You re-sign the guys you like. You have everything you want. So I can see them easily. I think, in my opinion, they're the second best team in this division. So I think they'll be fighting to be second, with the Packers, but I think they're going to be right behind the Lions, like as it ends up. So, and I think that'll take 9 to 10 wins to do that. So I'll take the Bears over here at 9. I think it's a really good line though, because I was almost saying like, damn, they can win 8 games and still be kind of successful if Caleb Williams does well or Duze does well, so on and so forth. So I think they'll teeter around this 9 to 10 wins, but I'm taking the over. I think I'm kind of sold on what they have going on over there.
I will say it's utterly ridiculous that a team with a rookie quarterback, their line is like they have to have a winning record. Like that's just kind of the expectation that he brings to the table. Danny, what are your thoughts on the Bears? Obviously, you're a big Williams guy. Me and you, big Rome guys, big Roma Dunze guys. Love his play style. What do you think about the Chicago Bears?
I think the Chicago Bears make the playoffs year one.
Noted.
I think they have a 9-8 record, and they have the same exact record as the Packers. And they have whatever tiebreaker gets them to the playoffs is going to get them in the playoffs over the Packers.
So we think Caleb Williams is the quarterback of destiny to free the Bears from the Packers' shackles.
So no, it's not even that. I think that the Bears are not a team that should have the number 1 overall pick. This team is a lot closer to playing winning football than a lot of people think. Like they fleeced the Panthers, had the number 1 overall pick when they won 7 games. And if you watch those 7 games, they were very close football games, the ones that they lost. They were one of the hottest teams in the NFL down the stretch with Justin Fields, with Tyson Bagent playing quarterback some part of the year. So yeah, I'm going to take the Bears to make the playoffs at 9-8, and I think they could even win 10 games. Like their schedule is actually not hard. They're playing the Patriots and Commanders and Cardinals, and like they play some of the weaker teams in the NFL. They still play the NFC North, which is a harder division. Yes, every division's hard except for the NFC South.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned the games they lost last year, because I'm actually about to go on a little spiel about their record. So the first 3 weeks they got absolutely clobbered by the Packers, Bucks, and Chiefs. There's no redoing that, and that's okay. Week 4, you lose to Denver by 3.
They had that game in their hands. They were up
literally. What they have? Yeah. They had a 3 touchdown lead and they absolutely blew it. You lose a 6-point game to I'm pretty sure Justin Jefferless Vikings, and you had Bagent at quarterback. You get absolutely destroyed by the Chargers. Whatever. You lose a 1 point or a 1 possession game to New Orleans. You lose a 1 possession game to Detroit, which is that's a good loss. I don't want to be that kind of guy. You have a 3-point loss to Cleveland, and then you got a 1 possession loss to Green Bay. Again, a lot of like winnable games here, and they went 7-10, and it's not as simple as, oh well, they went 7-10 and they upgraded at quarterback, and poof, they're gonna win 3 more games because of that. That's not really what I'm saying here, because they got better at quarterback, they got better at running back, they got better at receiver. Wide receiver for sure. You added like 2 really good guys. One of them, and they're different, and that's the best part about it.
Can't forget Cole Kmet. That's my boy.
And you have Cole Kmet at tight end. See, having Cole Kmet and Keenan Allen, it's almost like having 2 tight ends on the field. Not in like a blocking aspect, but in terms of like a security blanket type of thing. Then you have Rome Odunze, who is a 50-50 jump ball guy who turns things to like 70-30 his range. And then you got DJ Moore, who's a do-it-all type of receiver. He can get yards after catch. He can make possession catches like Allen. He can win jump balls like Rome Odunze. So really love their offense, and their defense was never a question. You re-sign Jalen Johnson. They bring in Kevin Byard. D-line, fair. You bring in Kevin Byard, who isn't what he used to be, but he's still a starting caliber safety. I really like him. Replacing, using that term loosely, Eddie Jackson, who went to Baltimore. But it's just all these additions to tag along with a favorable schedule, in my opinion. I think that's good enough to get you a winning record. I think it might be. I think I might be with Danny. I think it might be good enough to get him 10 wins, because I think Caleb Williams is going to be good out the gate. I think he's going to be good out the gate. This receiver, yes, the NFL defenses are going to be much harder than Pac-12 defense. I'm not stupid, but when you have these level of weapons, guys who create such separation the way that Allen and DJ Moore are capable of, and you have guys you can just simply rely on like Kmet and Odunze, it's so much different than what he was dealing with at USC. This is going to be the most in structure you've ever seen him play, and you're going to realize, oh, he doesn't really like to play hero ball. Like, if he doesn't have to do it, he won't do it, and that's kind of like every quarterback who's ever lived. No quarterback.
If he's not down 21 points at halftime because his defense sucks. Oh wow, maybe he's not going to play hero ball.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't have to, run around in the backfield just to complete a 5-yard hitch. Like, I promise you, not every quarterback wants to do that. But
Kyler Murray does.
Pressure makes diamonds. So I think Caleb Williams is going to be my rookie of the year. I think 10 wins. I think I'm on the boat. Maybe we're high here, but we're all Caleb fans.
I'll go as far as to say
we're all rooting for the Bears from a distance.
Caleb Williams will have the greatest rookie season ever.
Now let's talk about that though, because not only is he the most highly touted prospect ever, arguably, he probably has the best offensive situation.
Yep.
Because exactly even more so than Stroud last year, DJ Moore is better than Nico Collins.
Yeah. Yep.
And Keenan Allen is, I want to say,
Tank Dell.
Better. He's not better than Tank Dell, but his experience makes up for that. So I get where you're coming at, but I think Tank Dell is a better player.
He's more athletic right now. Yeah, but
he's more athletic. We're comparing apples to oranges in terms of how they play, but and then you got Rome, who the Texans Stroud's rookie year, they didn't have a Rome, so
Noah Brown is the Rome.
Shout out Noah Brown, man. He made clutch plays, but he ain't Rome Odunze.
And Kincaid and Kmet can be a wash. They can be a wash. It's okay.
I want to look up rookie quarterback records because now I'm really interested to see what records are in his sight. That's what I want to know. Okay. NFL.
The 4,300 is the passing
yards
by Andrew Luck.
The most passing touchdowns is by Herbert with 31, which is so stupid. That is so stupid, dude. So can he get 4,400 yards and 32 touchdowns? That would be like
MVP, my man.
That like so we're oh my god, we sound like ESPN. Could Caleb Williams win MVP his rookie season? I wouldn't pick it, but Danny, you're talking me into maybe dark horsing him.
Caleb Williams is probably a dark horse MVP candidate, and I'll tell you why. If he turns a team around with the number 1 overall pick, had 7 wins before, and they win 10 or 11 games, I'm telling you, every reporter in the country is going to put him as their MVP.
Yeah, I will say though. So, go ahead, Chris.
So if he gets 12 wins, if the Bears get 12 wins, he's going to get MVP. Yeah, I think 12 will be the MVP number because I'm with y'all. Like I said, I think they hit the over of 9. I see them around like 10 wins. But if they can get 12, if they win 12 games, I think he's MVP.
They win this division, dude. It's so wrapped.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
If he is worth 5 wins,
yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. But again, I wanted to add 2 things. Like I said, he is not like all the difference in the world of this team, but he is the biggest. He's the biggest gap in terms of like upgrade. Now,
I don't know, man.
Earlier, you said
Allen and Rome from Darnell Mooney is a pretty big gap.
I think the jump between Fields and Caleb is just ever so much bigger. But I don't think that's a bad take though. But like you said earlier, you're like turn a team with a number 1 overall pick into a playoff team. It's like you said, they weren't really the number 1 overall pick team. They had the Panthers pick. And another thing, I can already see it now. I can see people giving a rookie voter fatigue because they'll have 11 wins. He'll have stellar numbers. They'll be like, well, if they just kept Fields 1 more year with all these guys, he'd have done the same thing while he's rotting away in Pittsburgh throwing for like 2,500 yards. But he's rushing. I don't wish that on you, Danny. I'm just saying for the Williams agenda.
I ain't gonna lie. Right. If that was to happen, I would be all hands on deck pushing both agendas because I'm definitely gonna push the Justin Fields one too.
They act like 2 legends can't coexist. They act like 2 legends cannot coexist.
Fields rushing for 1,500 yards.
That's nasty. He'd be like the NFL leading rusher.
He probably could.
Disgusting. That's disgusting. We'll talk about Justin Fields next week.
He could do that off 15 carries a game.
Okay. I can't wait to clip this, put it on TikTok. They're like, oh, the glaze. The glaze is crazy. Caleb Williams, MVP, the glaze, dude. Make sure to clean it up when you're done. Can't wait. It's got the numbers. Well, that's enough Bears glaze. Definitely we're glazing, can't lie. But we'll move on to the Vikings.
This next team.
Yeah, we'll have to dial it down on this next team, unfortunately. But the Minnesota Vikings went 7-10 last year, and their line is 6.5. Danny, you seem eager to get into this.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I'm not big on JJ McCarthy. Chris isn't big on JJ McCarthy, and you're like moderately okay on JJ McCarthy, and he might not even start the year. And they spent the 11th overall pick on him. You just spent a top 15 pick in the NFL draft on a dude who is probably not even going to start. He's 21 years old, so you give him benefit of the doubt. But he is like, it's not like he's like this high upside player who's going to develop into like Anthony Richardson. You spent 11th overall pick on a guy who is like supposed to come in and play immediately. He is like, in my opinion, he's like the Kenny Pickett pick of this draft. But he's better. I think he's better than Kenny Pickett, of course. But I think he's like the win now, ready now quarterback, and he's not starting it at first. He's Sam Darnold, a guy, veteran quarterback, turned the ball over a lot early in his career. He's going to start probably, especially with KOC. KOC's a great coach. I think Kevin O'Connell's a phenomenal coach, especially with Flores there. He's still there as their DC, I believe. They're returning some pieces. They got Aaron Jones at running back. They got two really good pieces on offense. And I'm going to take the under just because TJ Hawkinson is out with the ACL tear half the year. I think that Jefferson, Addison, and Jones can't really carry the offense to a winning team the way that people might think. The defense is also god-awful. Like, when Brian Flores can't coach a defense, they're pretty bad.
Well, Flores made them like
okay,
like doable. You know what I mean? It's the things he can draw up. Like, bro, he could have practice dummies out there, and if he could get them to move, they'd have like a top 20 defense. Because that's just how good he is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, well, the thing you said about McCarthy, you were like, I'm moderately okay on him. Because you mentioned he's 21. And my favorite, like one of my favorite draft sayings, it really applies to him. Don't get no film confused with bad film. Is he a first round quarterback? Was he the 11th overall pick? No, I completely agree. That's a bad pick. But I think he's worth a third round pick. He's 21. There are throws where he can, from the opposite hash all the way down the sideline. He's got throws like that. He's got second level throws. It's not his fault he had 2 NFL running backs in his backfield, the best coach in college football, one of the best lines, the best defense in college football. He just happened to be there. So, not too much on him, It's kind of like a Brock Purdy-esque thing to a lesser degree. Before I swing to Chris, I just would say I do have under in the most respectful way possible. Justin Jefferson.
I said, they got pieces, man. They got pieces.
They got pieces. Do I think it's 7-win, 8-win pieces? No. Oh, Justin Jefferson is
hell of a piece. Hell of a piece.
It's a matter of getting him the ball, though. Like, it's just tough, Like, I believe Justin Jefferson is the best football player on the planet, not named Patrick Mahomes. So I kind of just feel bad for him, man, because his team is just not ready to win now. And then you lose Daniel Hunter. Like,
Daniel Hunter's good.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, man. I have the under, but I could see this as a year of maybe a strike goal with Sam Darnold, or maybe Sam Darnold turns up, and then that's trade ammo because you do have him for 2 years, I believe. So maybe that's trade ammo, and then hopefully JJ can develop. I think best case scenario, if JJ McCarthy has to play, though, he has Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson. About as reliable as it gets in their respective positions. So
I'll tell you one thing. I'm gonna, before Chris goes, I'm gonna make one note of one player. And not many people are going to talk about this guy. Ivan Pace is a top 5 inside linebacker in the NFL, and you guys will learn more about that this year.
Spit. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Don't talk me into their defense. That's what you're doing when you bring up Ivan Pace.
Ivan Pace is him. He's one of the best linebackers.
He's one of them ones. That's what Chris likes to say. He's one of them ones.
Chris, if you haven't seen his film, go watch it. He is
I highly recommend. Very fun linebacker.
I have to go look up some. I definitely haven't. I know I haven't. I heard the name though. I definitely heard the name, but I haven't seen it.
I don't know if you'll enjoy him as much as Roquan Smith, but you'll enjoy him for sure.
He's definitely behind Roquan, but not far.
I mean, hey, if it's gonna entertain me like them TikTok clips of dude playing linebacker and Road to Glory, then I mean,
I don't know about that. I don't know. No, that dude recreates tackling noises like it's Mike.
Yes, bro. That's what gets me. That's what gets
me. He's hilarious though. Chris, thoughts on the Vikings? Thoughts on the Vikings?
As far as the Vikings. No, I'm just kidding. I believe in Addison. I believe in Jettas, and I believe in Aaron Jones enough for 5 wins, but not 7. I don't think McCarthy's good enough right now. And that's why, like you guys said, Donald's going to be playing. But I think in a year or two, like I said, if McCarthy can take a pretty good step, I think they have building blocks, as you can say. And with Hawkinson being out for a little while, it's going to be difficult to replace. Damn near impossible. So I think that core that you guys and that we named together, I think it's good enough for 5 wins, maybe 6, but I think 7's kind of pushing it. So I would say they go a little bit under. Just going to be a disappointing year. Hopefully it's going to be a year where Jettas ask out and go to another place if it's a bad year. But I think it's going to be a year of just hoping for the best and hoping to get I think what Tone said is big important. Just the guys that are there that you may not see a future with, just helping them build up their trade value so you can bring in somebody or people you can see a future with. So I think it's going to be a season like that for the Vikings.
Yeah, who wins? Absolutely. Who starts more games, JJ McCarthy or Bo Nix?
Bo Nix.
I would say Bo Nix, and not a slight to McCarthy. I think McCarthy has a more respectable dude in front of him. I don't know who's in Denver. Who's ahead of Bo Nix? Is it just Stidham and Wilson?
That's 100% why I picked it.
Is Stidham still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about as like insecure as it gets. Like Bo Nix, I would not be shocked if he goes into training camp and beats out Zach Wilson for a starting job. Zach Wilson is so bad. He's so bad. And when we get to the AFC, remember how I said earlier, it's not as simple as like, oh, you were this amount of wins and then you upgraded quarterback, so you get this many wins. It's never that simple, but for the Jets, it might just be that simple.
I'll tell you one thing. If the Sean Payton let Broncos get Zach Wilson, whoever Sean Payton has, he's going to make them look better than they really are. We're going to be honest with it.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. For sure. But yeah, so we all have under on the Vikings. We all have over on the Bears. All of us think they're making postseason. We all have under on the Packers. I think you two have them out of the playoffs. I have them in the playoffs still. And then we're all obviously up on the Lions. Me and Danny have them as the 1 seed. So that's pretty much it on that. But we do still have a little bit of time. So I actually wanted to play some NFL trivia. Because Chris said Brandon Jacobs earlier, it made me think of a guy. So yeah, we can play a little bit of NFL trivia while we wrap up this show. I will go like unlimited questions. It is what it is. I have a guy. Hold on. I'm just gonna pull up his football. Hold on. Let me pull up. No, but I'm gonna pull up his football reference just so we have,
We're doing 20 questions. That's question number 1.
You all right?
I'm the odds, Chris.
I would say you didn't have to do 20 questions, but that's all good.
Shoot.
He's not active, Chris.
All right.
Get us down to an era.
All right. Did he retire within the last 3 years?
No.
Okay.
Did he play between 2000 and 2020?
Yes.
Okay, we got.
Okay. Did he play in the NFC? I mean, did he finish his career in the NFC?
He did finish his career in the NFC. Very good question, actually.
Is he a running back?
No, he's not a running back.
Okay.
What's that? Our fifth question?
Does he play offense?
No.
Okay, that helps, Danny, right there.
Yeah, I should have went offense. Is he would he be considered in 7-on-7 on the defensive side?
Yeah. You could just say like you could have just said
I was gonna say skills. I was gonna say skills and defense, but I don't know if you considered fair.
No. I get what you mean. Yeah.
Damn.
So not a D lineman.
Yeah, I figured that. Okay, so is he a corner?
He is a corner.
Y'all
are slowly getting there.
Getting there. NFC, he's a corner.
Did he play in? Did he get drafted by an NFC team?
No, which is key. Wait,
I got a name. Right now.
Who's your name?
Danny. Antonio Cromartie. Antonio Cromartie.
No, damn it! But think that era corner. Think those kind of guys.
Chris, is that not a pull, man?
Damn, I don't even know what I was gonna say. So yes, that was great. Elite.
He was drafted by the Chargers. He was drafted by the Chargers, right?
Antonio Cromartie, yes, was drafted by the Chargers, I believe.
Yeah.
That just made me think of Dominique Rodgers Cromartie.
Oh my god!
This player retired with the Eagles?
No, he did not retire with the Eagles.
Did he retire with a team east of the Mississippi River?
Dude, we're not playing. Ask a more simple question. We're not playing like geography dash instead of the known geometry dash.
Did he retire with a team in the NFC West?
He did, and I think you're there. I think you're low key there. Low key there, not high key, but low key.
Okay. Did he retire with the Seahawks?
Nah.
Damn. That's what I knew that was the team.
Fun fact: a lot of people think Jerry Rice retired with the Seahawks. He actually retired with the Denver Broncos in the middle of their training camp because he wasn't going to make the team.
Wait,
and I don't think it was a skill thing. I think it was just because, like, dude, you need to retire. You're like 45.
Am I there? One of the best cornerbacks of all time. Don't play with me, Richard Sherman.
No.
No.
Nah. No, not Mr. Sherman. Not
Oh,
Mr.
he wasn't drafted with the AFC. Damn, I'm stupid.
No,
you can go
he
again,
was drafted with Seattle.
Yeah, that's why I was wrong.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna do LeBron like Jerry Rice. He's gonna be fighting to be the starting point guard at 45 years old for a team. And I'm like, dude, can our point guard we've been marinating for like 5 years finally start? They're like, no. He's like, dude, retire.
All right. I have no clue, Danny. You can go again. I have no clue.
Ask me another question. Did he retire on the 49ers?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought I asked that. Well, I think you
Now
asked
but that's not like a prominent part of his football life, so I don't know how substantial that'll be.
So he's a corner.
He is a corner, and like for like a little minute, he's as good as you get at the position for like a little bit, and then he went across America and just lost all his talent. I want to give a hint, but I know Danny would get it immediately.
Chris, we got to find what team he was drafted to in the AFC.
We got to find out who left and went overseas and lost their powers. That's what we need to find. That's what we need to find.
Who went over the states and lost their
powers. Were they drafted in the AFC North?
No, but you are running out of time here. That was question 16.
See? And I don't want to waste anything because I have no clue. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to look in my brain.
Do y'all want to risk a question for a hint?
Yep. Sign us up, Danny. We can do it.
Danny.
Yeah.
Danny. Dream team. The Eagles' dream team.
It's not Nnamdi Asomugha.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What? Dude, that name been in my like head, but I was like, yo, there's no way his man picked Nnamdi Asomugha, dog.
I will hold a grudge against Nnamdi Asomugha for the rest of my life. Dude, he went first team All-Pro, second team All-Pro, first team All-Pro, 3 straight Pro Bowls, and then he gets to Philadelphia and is legit the worst corner in the NFL. How does that happen? This was supposed to be the dream team. We had Vic, Jackson, Macklin, Selleck, LaShawn McCoy. We had a defense with Fletcher Cox and DeMeco Ryans, who's now the head coach. We had Jason Kelsey. Like, how does this happen? It's just ridiculous.
Yo,
or we might not have
thing,
but
Nnamdi Asomugha, I did not know he played for the 49ers.
I had no clue. I would have probably said
that's why I said I was like, dude, like you probably won't like where he retired kind of like didn't matter. But Sherman wasn't a bad guess. It's just Sherman actually never played in the 2000s, which I guess we never specified either. He started his career in 2011. But yep, Nnamdi Asomugha, who had a 3-year peak of like no other, and then put on that green and made my face green.
All right, Antonio Cromartie. When you said he had one of the best peaks and he's up there with like at that one time, Antonio Cromartie and Nnamdi Asomugha were the first 2 people that came in my head. And I was like, there's no way this man just chose Nnamdi Asomugha.
I really did, man, because I don't know why. I associate Brandon Jacobs with just destroying the Eagles. And then
you know what?
Nnamdi Asomugha also destroyed the Eagles.
And DRC destroyed the Eagles.
Yes. I was hoping talking about Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie would hopefully, lead
that
to the
fired in my brain. That fired me in my brain, and then I was just like, nah, I'm going away from there.
He said we were the dream team and proceeded to go 4-12. That was so crazy. We lost like 7 straight games. We took a Nick Foles game winner.
It'd be better if you chose Orlando Scandrick.
Ooh.
Nah, I know like we joke around and we'll be like, oh, Eagles legend, Steelers legend. The whole time they play like 3 games for us, I would never call Orlando Scandrick an Eagles legend. We changed that broke man's life, and then he went on First Take and started like killing us. I'm like, all right, man, like for like undisputed, whatever it was. He don't got First Take motion. I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah. We got anything else to say before we get on out of here?
Shout out to Brian carrying the USA team, and respect y'all elders and respect the GOAT. That's all I'm saying.
Respect the GOAT. LeBron, please run for president. You have my vote. You have the
Tyrese Halliburton, your run's cooked, brother. They've seen enough of yours. Derek White, thank you for saving USA. Appreciate it. We'll have to watch Tyrese Halliburton do
Derek White
anymore.
Hi,
Derek
my name
White
is
saved
Trey.
America.
Basketball game tomorrow.
So I would say Derek White saved America like how Aaron Wiggins saved basketball.
Exactly, and I love it.
That was my favorite thing in the playoffs when Aaron Wiggins, he would like literally save the basketball from going out. To like, look, he did the thing. He saved basketball. I don't even know where that started from. That's clearly like an OKC like fan base thing, but it's still funny to say.
Hilarious.
Much funnier than 30 from Trey Ball is, or 54 from Trey Ball is OD shooting hang pulls. That's so bad. Why did he say that? Why did he say that? That like gives off the same energy as Paige Becker's pulling up in a denim puffer jacket.
I loved it.
She needs to be
the worst fit ever. It was the worst fit ever.
She needs to be executed. I'm sorry. There's no amount of like gay card that lets you get away with that, man.
Not double P, not Pookie Page. Can't have that.
They said I know Billie Eilish fuming. She didn't think of it first.
Yeah, no, they got some of the worst shit. It's so much denim for those, and they're not even that big of people. Like they're not even that tall to be needing that much denim. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and denim and the jorts. Yeah, that was just all around bad fit. But thank you guys for tuning in. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe. We're almost at 300. We'd really appreciate it if you could help us get us there, and you're listening to this on audio platforms. Download the episode if you really liked it. Make sure you follow the show. Leave a 5-star, like a review. We'd really appreciate it. From AP New Freezer, Culture by Migos, and DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in. LeBron's the GOAT, and we'll catch y'all next week.
I just hit that Cam Newton.